Hello, I'm Annabel Ruffell with Journey for Earth, and I'm here today with Sara Fancy, founder of Silver Horse Healing Ranch, which is all about helping people deepen their relationship with horses in a relaxed and comfortable environment. Hi, Sara.
Hi.
Thank you for having me here at your beautiful ranch. So I know you're originally from England. Share with us your journey to founding the ranch and, coming here to Topanga to do that.
Okay, well, I left England in 1985 and I went to New York. I was pursuing a career as a musician and it didn't quite pan out like that. I ended up getting involved with bodybuilding and then I decided to quit after 10 years of doing that. So I went through a period of turmoil, I guess, inner turmoil, and then came out of it and moved up to Topanga.
Just like that?
Yeah, I basically started meditating. Someone told me meditate. I was very depressed, I didn't know what to do. And then I moved just over here, and they had a couple of horses next door, and I started taking lessons, and I ended up riding in the park up here, and just realized like I want to be around horses, I want to be outdoors, I want to be of service. And then I landed a job at an equine therapeutic ranch down the road, and I managed that place for about 7 years, and then I started my own business.
So I know you have 7 horses here that facilitate the programs, all of which are rescues which you've rehabilitated. How were you led to each horse, and from what or where were they rescued from?
Okay, so Silver basically found me, I guess.
Silver is a horse?
Yeah, so he was my first horse, and I named the ranch after him, Silver Horse Healing Ranch. I got him 10 years ago, and I just declared that I was ready for a horse of my own. And then he showed up. Yeah, I actually had a dream about him, and then he showed up, and the owner said, would you take him? So I did. The mares, all my mares, I've got 4 mares, they're from the Premarin industry. Hank was actually from the organisation I used to work for, and he had come from a riding school, and he was basically crippled, couldn't walk well at all, let alone be ridden. So because I have skills in the healing arts, I was able to help him, and now he's working a little bit, and he's really happy, he feels really proud, he's got something to do, and he just works with very small children, so he doesn't have to carry a lot of weight, and he's great. I just have one more gelding, and that's Pretty Boy, and he was actually from the neighbourhood, and his owner didn't want him anymore. So he was actually going to destroy him because he didn't think he could get him a home.
And you offer horse constellation readings. So what, and I know they can really help people to get in touch with themselves, and what are they exactly? Could you just share with us what exactly they are and how they benefit people?
Yeah, so a horse constellation is basically from the family constellation work, Bert Hellinger, it's German. And instead of doing them indoors, which is how they traditionally do them, I do them outdoors, and then I add the horses in. And it's done in the group or it's done privately, but basically we're going back into the ancestry to see what's going on there that's affecting us now.
Okay.
And then we make peace with what's going on back there.
So the horses will take on
so
maybe
they go
one of your family members.
Exactly, yeah. They go into a role, and sometimes it's really obvious who they are. And they can represent places and emotions and situations, but they're pretty tuned in because they're herd animals. They are really aware and empathic and psychic.
And how does it help the person participating in that?
And I think that with the horses involved, it has such a big impact because usually people don't realize that horses can even relate. But they do because they share the same feelings as us, they have the same experiences as us, like losses, abandonment, rejection.
I know you've really beautifully actually said on your website that you have learned so much from horses and that having them is a privilege and an honor. And you also talk of how, again, how each horse has takes on emotions and feelings and shows you positive and maybe not so positive aspects of yourself. Can you give us a few, just a couple of examples?
Okay, so when I talk about horses, I say that they bring out the best and the worst in us. For me personally, like they showed me where I needed to work. Like I really needed to work on my patience. Lady taught me that. And then Jackie, she's the herd leader, and she's got this attitude and confidence that, and the way that she interacts with the other horses, her presence is enough to command the space. So I really think of Jackie when I'm in a situation where I want to react, and I think, no, just be cool like Jackie.
Wow, that's really amazing that they all have such distinct personalities and that they reflect that back to you. That's really beautiful.
Yeah, that's one of the gifts that horses have, is reflection, and that's why they use them in therapy. Equine therapy is based on that.
So tell us a little bit about the children's horse programs that you offer.
Okay, so we start with children from 3 years and up. It's educational. We're not a riding school, although we do incorporate riding. Everything's done under the natural horsemanship umbrella, meaning that we don't use bits in the mouths of the horses, we don't use spurs, we use soft bareback pads. The children hold on to a handle. They're not holding the reins, they're led. But it's about their connection with the horse, and we teach them how to be around a horse safely, how to touch them, how to approach them. And then the parents get a lot out of it too, because they encourage the parents to be present when the kids are learning.
Have you ever encountered someone who's come here who didn't have any connection with horses at all, then spend some time with them and leave feeling connected?
Yeah, all the time. All the time. For instance, the parents of the children, some of them have never had any connection with horses, or they're scared of them, and then they end up having an incredible appreciation for horses. In their horse constellations, their eyes open around horses in the sense of, wow, this huge animal, I can relate to them, or they can relate to me.
So that shift can happen at that one reading, that first reading?
Yeah, or the experience. It's not really a reading, it's more like a session, or in the groups it's like a 3-hour workshop. I mean, I see it with the kids too, is that they don't stop talking about it. Once they leave, they talk about it to their moms and dads and their family.
And that inspires them, I'm sure.
Yeah, and the same with the adults too, like when they have an experience here. Like say like the horse comes over and picks them, because the horse can go anyway, and then the horse will just rest, like Big Diva, rest her nose on their head, really gently. And they're like, what are they doing, what are they doing? And then they realize that they're connecting with them.
What is your greatest hope for our planet at this time?
That that people can wake up to the fact that animals have feelings and are empathic. We need to treat them with respect and spare them from any suffering. Just be more conscious about what you put in your mouth and where it comes from, and what it's doing for your health, and how you're contributing to the planet by the choices you make as far as things like that. Like what products you use. Was it animal tested?
Thank you, Sarah,
Hey,
for having me here today. And for those of you who'd like to know more about the ranch and the wonderful programs on offer for adults and kids, please go to silverhorse.org.